Hi, I'm Jonny. I play guitar in Devil Soul, and we're here at my studio, Bandit Studios in Tetbury, Gloucestershire. I've been into recording since quite an early age, and over the years I progressed with my gear, getting better stuff and recording myself, and then moving on to recording bands. And then it got to the point where I was lucky enough to have this place as my first proper studio. And with our band, we were at the point where we were just about ready to record our first album, just when I was ready with this place. So it all kind of came together and made sense. So I've had the studio since about 2007. As I say, that was when we did our first album, Fragile Hope here. It was originally just 2 rooms, the room we're in now, the control room and the live room through there. And it used to be a stables. So it had kind of slanted floors, and you had to set the gear up kind of in an interesting way. And in here, if I wasn't careful, I would roll down the hill into the door. But then a few years back, the whole place just got a complete overhaul. Both these rooms got completely redone and had the new extra bits built on. So I've had the pleasure of recording all the Devil Soul stuff here over the years, starting in 2007 with Fragile Hope, and then moving on to Blessed and Cursed, Empire of Light, Belong Betray, and then the Reckoning single that we did a few years back now. And then between 2018 and 2020, I've finished up doing Loss, which is going to be out soon. Some of my other favourite bands that I've worked with have been The Elijah. That was a really nice project to be involved in. It meant a lot to a lot of people, I think. Similar with the Renault album. Also the Blood Use stuff was a lot of fun. Dream State stuff was great. And the early Casey stuff I did as well. So just to give you a bit of an insight into how I work with tracks and layer up the guitars, this is a bit of the riff section from the track Burdened from the new album. Cool, so here's the track with everything. And a little breakdown of the 3 different guitar layers. That's the main one. A little crunch layer. The fuzz layer, and all together. Okay, so this is the live room where we tracked all the instruments for Loss. In terms of guitars, we used the Marshall JCM 2000 DSL for pretty much the whole thing, and that was going into the Orange 2x12, which is closed back with finished 30s. And then for bass, we use an Ampeg SVT3 Pro into an 8x10. Okay, so this is the drum setup that we used and like tracked all the parts for Loss on. For the shells, I tend to prefer using API preamps just because they have a nice fast transient and it's snappy. For the overhead stuff, I prefer using my Focusrite ISA 428 because it's nice and transparent sounding, so they're super clear through it. One thing that people often ask me about is my DIY subkick mic, which basically just picks up, it's just a speaker and it picks up all the low frequencies in the kick drum. So I guess for bands thinking of recording themselves, I think it all depends on what your goal is and where you're at with your band. So and your experience level with recording. So it depends on what you want to achieve with your band. If you've got the experience and you're confident enough that you can achieve that goal, then that's cool. If you're not quite there yet, then maybe it's better to get some outside help. So my 5 tips for bands wanting to record themselves would be, first one would be take your time in getting enough experience to be able to achieve the results you want. Second would be choose your gear carefully and buy things as and when you need them. Thirdly, I would say don't overthink stuff too much and just try and look at the big picture rather than zooming in on every tiny little thing. Fourthly, I would say put limits on yourself as to how much time you're going to work on it, just so you don't go crazy. And then the last one would be just to have fun, because it's easy to get bogged down with everything, and if it's not fun, then what's the point?